Good morning, guys. Straight to Anarchy Land, and it is the 22nd of January. And we here in Southeast Michigan are at a whopping 19 degrees, creeping up to 20. It's supposed to be about 32 with a real feel of 26. I'm not surprised. We're going to start out with the situation in Iran. Now, over the last 72 or so hours, they have taken responsibility for what happened last week with the shooting down of the Ukrainian airliner. The picture is bigger than just that. You have to add in the fact they killed one of the top generals. Iran retaliated for it. And then there were some helicopters just off the border of Iran. They were bracing for a response. And so all this added together created an atmosphere ripe for an accident like this. Anyway, Iran has taken responsibility. However, our lovely government will never take responsibility for the fact that them killing General Soleimani is what triggered it. Now, also earlier this month, we seen Juan Guido lost his position in the Venezuelan parliament. Of course, that did not stop Pompeo from going and congratulating him on his win. Guido lost. He didn't win. And people are leaving. They're jumping ship. They're seeing him for what he really is. A dictator, a tyrant to them. That's it. They are abandoning him. And yeah, here comes the cow. Here comes trouble. Alright, here. Keep your tail down. Lay down. Also, Washington is also trying to cause an immense amount of havoc in Iran. They are just adamant that this Khamenei has got to go. They are even falsifying reports. They're causing people to pay them, basically, to protest. And their sanctions are creating a situation where people will take money to protest. They're creating the problem. They have the solution. They know what the goal is they want to accomplish. Now, keep in mind, this same plan failed in Syria. It has failed in Venezuela. And I do think it's going to fail in Bolivia eventually. And without a doubt, Iran is going to be no different. It's going to fail there as well. Now, let's talk about Monday's rally. Now, weeks leading up, I said it was a trap. It was a trap of some kind. I was not sure what kind of trap. I was not putting it past them to use what happened with the Bonus Army as a model to cause a tragedy like that. To create the situation where it could happen. What do you want? I've got her laying like, ow. Right in front. Here she is. Yes, gotta get down so I can finish. Anyway, I don't put it past them to cause a situation like this. Like the Bonus Army, which was an absolute bloodbath in the end. This SB 16 bill, it is going to go through. It will go through. And if the sheriffs don't enforce it, they will get the National Guards to enforce it. They would simply put the state under emergency status, and in comes the National Guard. Or they may have to get the United Nations, because they do have an army. Don't think that they do not have one. They do. It has been their goal all along to disarm people. So, with that, the trap. It took me a while to figure it out. I'll be first to admit. It was hearing people talk about being stopped on the way into Virginia for it to hit me. This is a trap. Your identity. They got your ID, your identification number, your license number, your plate number, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, you walked around cameras with face recognition. You are now being identified as a troublemaker. Now, don't get me wrong. I support Second Amendment. I do. Well, I may not have guns myself. I am just south of a police station, and they're always through a parking lot. They won't recognize my daughter and me because the police have never called on us. We keep to ourselves. We just mind our own little business and live our lives. Now, the main thing I support in the Second Amendment is militia. The first sentence of the Second Amendment says we are to have a well-regimented and trained militia. It makes it very clear, a small militia. Notice they get together, they train, they run battle scenarios, and then they go home. They go home. They're done. After they do this once or twice a month, they go home. Even late President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who worked for the military complex during World War II, warned us about them getting too big. He warned us about the very entity he worked for getting too big. Think about this for a minute. He's telling a generation, this entity I worked for is getting too big for the drawers, for the britches. Hello. This should be a very clear hint. If you don't do something soon, you're going to have a problem. Anyway, so all of you who went, the only thing you accomplished was getting your face in the federal database. That's it. You have upped the scale in the working efficiency for a face recognition program. Congratulations. You just gave them one more tool to identify us with frightening accuracy. Thank you for nothing. You see, you don't tip your hand to your enemy, and the government is our enemy. I have no doubt about it. It is our enemy. Trump's not going to save us. He was never going to save us. That was never part of the plan. I do suspect that there will be a gun grab after people have turned on each other. American citizens turn on each other. As horrifying as it is to think, the aim of this bill and warning of it was to get people to buy more guns so they can use it against each other. Because what happened? They say they're going to limit the guns you can have, how many rounds you can fire off. Which, if you're worth your weight in gold in shooting, you only need one bullet. Okay? You only need one. You got this whole torso and the head. Okay, maybe the head can be a little bit hard to hit. But one shot to the heart, that's all you need. Um, that's just something my late father taught me, and he was taught as a Green Beret. One bullet, no point in shooting them up. It's a waste of money and bullets. Um, so we got Iran taking responsibility for their role. We got Washington trying to overthrow the Khamenei and put their guy in. And I said this years ago. They're going to put the only son of the Shah, the former Shah, that's still living, his son, back in to that government. This is what it's all been leading up to. Put him in, and then you got a puppet. Pull them little strings. He'll dance whatever dance you want as long as you pay him. That's what they want. I'm gonna stop here because I could go on forever. I mean, this is a rabbit hole we could go down, and honestly, I'm tired. I haven't slept that great in the last couple nights, so we're gonna stop here.